Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the three most common or most popularized opening mechanisms for folding knives, or best deployment or most popular deployment methods that manufacturers and makers have adopted. There's not one that I would say is the best. There's one that fits better for different scenarios or that people just prefer. The oldest would be your thumb stud. And then you got your thumb hole opener, which you can actually use to flick open your knives. That one didn't quite open, but that's probably my fault because it's hard to do that behind a camera. And then Spyderco also has the same thing, but they decided to go a different route and do a thumb hole like that instead, which you can see on most of their, if not all, their folders. And Strider always has their oval, which is definitely older than Spyderco's hole. And then you got your flipper, your traditional flipper right here. Pretty straightforward, but then you can also, some companies will decide to do something a little bit different, which is called a front flipper. So instead of flipping back here, it's up here, and so you kind of put your hands like this. Some are going to be a little bit different because this guy is a little bit of a thinner profile knife, so you're going to have to use the clip, and you just use your thumb to do that. It's not there's not a utilitarian factor that's added with a front flipper. To be honest, it's just quite fun. In fact, with this particular model, like, you could hand this to anybody and they could use this if they don't know how to use that. So that's good, but in a sense, it's not one that I would hand to someone that doesn't know what they're messing with. Now, there's not one particular one that's better than the other. I would definitely say that thumb hole opening knives and thumb studs are more work-oriented. Now, you can have work-oriented knife like a Hinderer that is a flipper. That's 100%, but they're not going to be the best for, let's say, if you work in any trade. They're not going to be the best for that. In fact, they might be a little bit harder when, like I say, on a ladder or something like that. But I do also have a Hinderer and a thumb in the thumb stud category, because this one is a tri-way pivot. It actually is running on phosphor bronze. I don't know if you can tell, you can kind of see it right there. This guy's a little dirty, needs some cleaning, but this right here actually fires much better using the thumb studs. And then obviously you got your 940, which we all know is a great thumb hole opener, or thumb stud opener, sorry. But in the end, this is just to start a good discussion, talk about what are your favorite opening mechanisms and why. I personally gravitate towards thumb hole more than anything else. Just it's so much more work oriented. It's so much easier to use, especially if you're working around someone that might be scared of a knife. Being able to roll it out is so much less scary to someone than a flipper. Don't get me wrong, flippers are great, especially when you want to fidget or mess around. But even though this is thinner and smaller than this guy, this is going to be way scarier to most people right out the gate. Even same thing with this one right here. Like, I had a lady on a job I was on that was more scared of this 3-inch hinderer than my SMF. Even though this is far larger, and most people would say this is scary, but it was the speed and aggressiveness that this flew open that scared her. These are all manual, none of them power assisted, so it's not, oh, it must be assisted kind of thing, or on auto, and people are terrified of those. That's a whole different video that we can have that discussion on. But this are the three main opening or deployment methods. I would definitely say the thumb stud, depending on the models, also in that category where you can flip it open, or you can roll it open. It's a lot. It's kind of up to your choosing, and it's easier to do that and know, hey, depending on who you're near, maybe just rolling it out is easier. In fact, it's also better for a beginner because a beginner or someone that's not used to knife flipping it open can just do that. Or they can do one of these. I've come across both of the slow opening and of the two-handed opening. Either way, these are much easier than, let's say, this guy. This guy, you can pinch the blade, but this has no really other option other than to use the flipper, which more often than not is going to be scary to someone that you might be around. And it is, to be honest, annoying and disappointing when you have to have that on your mind and you have to keep thinking about that. And they even have that weight, like, oh, this might scare so-and-so. I'm not sure. Or with like a thumb hole, I can just do that. No worries. I can do what I need to do, get my job done, cut what I need to cut. No worries. Same with shaman. I can do this pretty easily, get the job done, put it away. Or if I know I'm around a, okay, crew or homeowner or client, I can just do that and it won't scare them at all. Same thing with this. I can flip that open really easily or slowly open it. And I can just do that based on who I'm around. Where this guy, there's no slow opening. And I can kind of use the thumb studs, but that flies open. And you can't really slow that down. And so you have to be pay a little bit more attention to what you're doing and who you're around with flippers. Now, flippers have become huge because they're so fun to just fidget with and just play with, and they're fast, they're reliable opening, but they can cause issues depending on who you're around. And they can actually cause another issue, which is displayed by that. Like, it's harder to know your surroundings and whether it's going to open properly if something's going to be in the way. Where this, you can move out of the way slowly while you're opening it. You can manipulate it better. You can move it around whenever you need to. It's easier to work with. You can also flip this one open, though I messed that one up. There you go. I can do the reverse flick easier, actually, with this guy. Same with the shaman. You can flip it open. Wow, I missed twice. Or you can roll it open. And you can also, it's easy to watch your surroundings and make sure you're not going to hit anything or nothing's going to be in the way. It's more utilitarian than a flipper. It's going to be better in an emergency situation where, let's say, in this situation, if you're trying to cut your seatbelt or cut someone free of something, you could easily miss this. Just slightly. Same with this one. You could easily miss this under a stressful situation. This is just not good for a stressful situation. You have to make sure you are fully aware of your surroundings and what you're doing with this one. With these ones, you can do this so much easier in a stressful situation. Like, if you're in a stressful situation, thumb holes and thumb studs are just way easier to just grab, pick up, and flip. 100%. No matter who you are. Let's say even if you're trapped or someone needs to cut you free, but they need to use one of your knives because you can't. This is easier for someone that doesn't know what they're messing with. Flat out. Same with this. That's why I like this XM18 a lot, is because someone can do this or they can do that. It's a whole lot easier to do that, either one of those, mainly the thumb studs in a stressful situation. Same with thumb holes over here. So much easier to mess with, use, than a flipper. Flippers are great. I tend to think them more of novelty or a quick way to open just a simple manual knife and not have a spring. It's a great way to make something that used to be illegal in the state legal. So like if you can't have a side opening automatic, but you can have a flipper, having something like this is great because you get that fast action without it being illegal. It's still going to be legal where you are. You're still going to be able to carry it, and it's not going to give you any trouble with the law. So if you are someone that are around people that do not care about fast opening, aren't scared of it, and you want or maybe need something that's quick, easy, and reliable, then yeah. And you might want to just fidget with it. Absolutely, flippers all the way. And if you want something a little bit more so, and you're okay with the slight learning curve front flippers give, those are great, and they're just different. All right, everybody, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Until next time.